Hey, everybody. Good evening. What we got going on here? Hey, everybody. Good evening. I just got through soaking in my little outside tub and sitting out here in my lower yard. Um, Figured I'd just come on and see what's going on here. Why is it? There I am. There I am. Hey, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. Trying to hydrate a little bit. That's kind of sweet. Yeah. Good evening, everybody. Um, Let me go back over here. I come out here and sit in the yard in the evening time. I lock Boom Boom and Gracie up and let my few little hens get out and scratch around in the yard without being intimidated by Boom Boom. Uh, let them have a little quiet peace time to scratch around. They'll take them little dirt baths and stuff. Hadn't it been a good weekend? Just a nice, good weekend. Uh, Evening, Miss Rita over on TikTok. Hey, TikTok. I haven't done any lives lately. Uh, uh, I just been seem like I've just been so busy too. Good Lord. Uh, and Tomorrow's the first. Today's the last day of August. Tomorrow's the 1st of September. Just sitting out here enjoying this evening. Hey, Miss Diane, out there in Colorado, cousin Diane. I'm glad your little granddaughter's doing better. Uh, You know what this platform does, even for our own family. Like Diane, there, she's seller. She's blood of my blood and bone of my bone. But out there in Colorado, but um, what what this platform does is it allows us to kind of be a community across state lines and country lines, and um, yeah, it is kind of an odd, strange thing. Um, Yeah, it has cooled down here, Rita. I mean, it's not cool, but it's pleasant. It still gets warm in about the 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock range, but the mornings and the nights are a little cooler here in Atlanta. That some of you know that uh, kind of touch base with us. Ava and I fly up to New York City in the morning, and the weather up there is kind of like low 80s in the. We're going to be up there tomorrow, Wednesday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, and the temperatures at night is going to be in the low 60s, and the daytime's low 80s. So it's going to be not. It's going to be pleasant there. Not enough to put a long sleeve or a jacket on or nothing, but pleasant. It's kind of like that here right now too. Um, we'll you know, when you live a long life, I always thought that summer, when I was younger, summer was my favorite. Thank y'all for the gifts over here on TikTok, y'all. Y'all send me some love offerings, hon. The Summer used to be my favorite season. I just, I love summer, and but at this season in my life, I actually think I enjoy winter here in Atlanta more than spring or fall. Y'all see my chickens on TikTok. You can't see it on Facebook, but on TikTok you can see my chickens back here behind me. There's some dark Brahma chickens. Thank y'all for the hearts. And I envy you. You can sit outside. The mosquitoes eat me up. Sue says, you know, maybe I just not very edible for mosquitoes. Ava can't sit outside either. They just love Ava. Mosquitoes do. They don't really bother me. So, um, but I know they're around or whatever. But yeah, I think winter's become my favorite season. Atlanta has such Atlanta because of global warming or climate change or whatever you want to call it. Um, Atlanta's become kind of like a climate like northern Florida. We don't really have cold winters. And then what's so wonderful about it, we'll have a little 2 inches of snow to dust Atlanta once in a while. It's not often, but once in a while. But we really have really mild winters here in Atlanta. And but I know that I love getting up on winter mornings in January and February and December and turning the little. I kind of miss having wood to burn because of the ambiance and the smell of it. But uh, but I turn my little gas logs on, and at least it gives you a little bit of an ambiance of a fire burn. It's a fire, it's a gas fire, but uh, I just love the warmth, and I love to be able to wear kind of a winter clothes in layers, like a shirt and then a long sleeve shirt over it. And y'all, I kind of have a I don't know jacket fetish. I've got so many coats and jackets, and I'll probably go to hell for this if there is a hell. But I'll go up in the attic and I'll look at all my coats and jackets, and I'm like, I should give all this away. Some just donate it somewhere and let people leather jackets, leather coats, all kinds of stuff. I said I should just donate all this somewhere and let somebody get some use out of it. But it's hard when you love stuff like that. It's hard to just put it in bags and donate it. But I guess yeah, it is what it is. But I love wintertime and putting on jackets and stuff. Good evening, TikTok. Uh, Miss Rita's now in Florida. I missed the distinct change of season originally from North Carolina. Yeah, y'all. Sometimes I think if I had plenty of money, uh, that I maybe would left to buy one of the old houses down around Duval Street in Key West and just live in that climate. But there is something about that first tinge of fall you feel in the air, and you do. Atlanta still has four distinct seasons. We have summer, winter, fall, and spring, and each one of them has their own flavor to them. So uh, uh, we live right here in East Point, which is from downtown Atlanta to my house is probably 5 miles from downtown Atlanta. East Point's just a little small city on the way to the airport. It's called Tri Cities, which is East Point, College Park, and Hateville. Now, Hateville, right over here, like 2 miles over, that's become really, man, they're building everywhere in Hateville. And it's become very expensive over there, and a lot of stuff going on in Hateville. Um, but yeah, East Point and the shop. I own a shop over on Boulevard in Grant Park. H20's girl. Okay, I'm right out of Atlanta in Cobb County. Yeah. Uh, Susan Woodstock. Isn't Woodstock pretty up in there? I tell you what, uh, and Sue will probably know this to be true too. People complain about the traffic in the city of Atlanta. When you go outside the city of Atlanta, when I do visit around outside the Woodstock and Johns Creek and different, traffic's worse up there than it is down in the city. I mean, you go out outside the city of Atlanta and you just sit for just sit and sit and sit, just traffic everywhere, all out there in Cobb County and Alpharetta and Mansell Road and just yeah, and not to put Atlanta down, but traffic is horrible. everywhere in and around Atlanta. Hey, good evening. So, but um, I love Atlanta. You know. Good evening, everybody. Eddie Williams Sellers sitting out here in my lower backyard. Um, just kind of relaxing for a little bit. Got a got a pretty busy week ahead of me. Um, I've actually had a pretty busy day today. I had to run out to Home Depot. I'm doing a little rehab house over here in southeast Atlanta, a little rental house that we're trying to get ready to sell, which is going to be a few months. It's taking forever. Um, Ava and I, we fly up to New York City in the morning, and we have this group of people who does films on relationships. And since Ava and I become over the last couple of years, we've become pretty building, but getting it. It's crazy. You know what? It's funny that you mentioned that. I'm talking to people, y'all. Propositions A. I was at the place now is called the building that Charlie's Trading Post is in is called Earth Shaking Music over on McDonald Boulevard, right across the street from the old Federal Pen building. And it's funny that you mentioned that I was just in there Wednesday because Savannah needed to go buy some stuff for her violin lessons at school. And I was talking to the owner over there who owns Earth Shaking Music, who bought that building from Charlie's Trading Post that was there. And back when he bought it, oh my God, that place was, I don't know any other word, just low end, run down. You know, I don't know if it's politically correct now to use the word ghetto, but it was ghetto. And so I was telling him, I'm like, man, y'all, you were just so wise to buy this location because now all around where Charlie's Trading Post is, there's hundreds, if not thousands, of townhomes and condos being built all around the old Federal Pen where Boulevard deads in into McDonald Boulevard. And that property is probably worth 7 or 8 times what he paid for it. I mean, it's crazy over there. So, but I used to love to go in old Charlie's Trading Post because back then I loved to go fishing, and you could go in there and buy rod and reels and zip code 33s, and you could get all kind of hunting outfits and overalls, and yeah, love Charlie's Trading Post. Yeah, yeah. Um, but anyway, everybody, yeah, it is. Yeah. Uh, Rita says I hate it for the wildlife. Y'all know here in East Point, I don't really walk after dark. Not that they haven't attacked nobody, but we have coyotes in our neighborhood, and you can see them walk down the middle of the street at night. And I have a 5 foot fence around my backyard back here, but there's coyotes around here. I mean, there's a pack of them and live in the neighborhood. So, and then, hey, Rhode Island, Miss Sheila. Uh, uh, Yeah, and then I seen a little small, I don't know what you call a baby coyote, but like a puppy coyote, following its mama around, and I'm like, it's kind of eerie. And then the other week or so, Ava was at rehearsal, and now the day had got away from me, and it was about 9 o'clock at night, and it already got dark, and I'm like, well, I'm gonna get my walk in, so I'm walking up a dark road up here at Jefferson Terrace, and a man in a truck slows down and said, there's a coyote right ahead of you. Sure enough, a coyote down there in the street. I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and try to squeeze by and get my walk in anyhow. Hello, Miss Sassy from the North Carolina mountains. Uh, yeah, where are they to go? You know, and we haven't had, I worry about what if somebody's kid gets attacked by one of them and all. And they're real skittish and they run from you. But where are they to go? Oh, hello, buddy. Y'all have hummingbirds. It's just I come out in the yard and I'm down here away from all the hummingbird feeders. They still fly up to my face, like they just want me to acknowledge. So I'm like, hello, little hummingbirds everywhere out here. I feel like Dr. Doolittle. Hello, Middle Georgia. Um, Miss Melissa Barnes down there. Top of the evening to y'all. Uh, uh, yeah, for those of y'all people who haven't been through Atlanta lately, you probably wouldn't recognize Atlanta if you haven't been here in 5 years. Atlanta is just, and there's a part of me, yeah, you can get into the whole debate and the whole argument, gentrification of neighborhoods. Atlanta's become very expensive. Um, who can afford to buy here? They are building just thousands of places to live all around Marietta and South Fulton and Atlanta. Uh, hey, Miss Kathy Lee. Hello, Winder out there on Facebook. Um, hello, Lubbock, Texas. Good evening to you, Julie. Uh, uh, yeah, yeah. You know what? Lisa Parton, or you not know Kenda Dolly, are you? Lisa Parton from Nashville says, "Honey, you wouldn't even recognize Nashville either." I think it's like that everywhere. I was down in Miami back months ago, and I'm like, my God, Miami's bigger than Atlanta. They were just building everywhere all over Miami, and like Nashville, I do want to go back to Nashville. Um, when I go to visit North Carolina, I hardly know my way around. Yeah. Lisa Parton. Yes, I'm from Seversville, Tennessee. That's Dolly's hometown. Well, if you are, we just with your last name being Parton, we love you already because Dolly is a god to most of us in a way. We just adore her, everything about her. But anyhow, y'all. Yeah, Ava and I, we it's kind of an odd thing because we put our relationship out there in the public sphere for the last 2 or 3 years, and then she is a treasure. Yes, indeed. Thank y'all for the gifts over on TikTok. Uh, thank y'all for all the likes and hearts and all like that. I love TikTok. You know what? I have 126,000 followers on TikTok over here, and then I look at a lot of other quote unquote famous people, uh, like Chuck Todd from NBC News that was host. I just kind of the different people, celebrity people I look at, and they'll have 30,000 followers, 50,000 followers. A lot of the Gaither singers will have 10, 20,000 followers. Then I look on my TikTok, I'm like, my God, how have I got 125,000 followers? You know, and how long have we've been married together 16 years. Yeah. But anyhow, getting back a few weeks ago, Ava asked me, said, there's this outfit in New York that does filming of relationships, and they want to know if we would be willing, if they would pay for our tickets and put us up in a hotel and give us a stipend to fly to New York City and be interviewed. Go into a studio, sit down in a make believe living room on a sofa, me and Ava, and then they're just going to ask us questions about how we came to be, how our relationship works, the ups and downs, the love in it, the pitfalls of it. And at first I thought, I'm just too busy to do any of that. And it sounds good in theory and all that. Yeah, she is. And then the old, some of you people might think this was odd, think this is odd, but the old spiritualist part of me that is passed down to me from my Granny Bratcher and my prophetess aunts and my family that walked their lives with the Lord. That part of my DNA, that part of me says, well, you say you want to make a difference in the world. The world's offering you an opportunity to say something. Why not? Why not say something? So I thought about that, and I told Ava, I said, yeah, tell them we'll do it. And they got the dates right, and there's all kind of legal papers to sign and legal documents. Thank y'all for the gifts over there. So we fly up there in the morning. We're staying in Times Square, in a pretty decent hotel. And they're going to send a car for us Tuesday morning. The studio is actually in Brooklyn. So they're going to send a car and have us there at the studio Tuesday morning. And then we're going to do whatever we're going to do over there that day. And then once that's over with, we'll fly back Wednesday afternoon. So uh, I I just I just look at these cracks in the universe that open and things that thank y'all over there. Uh, huh, yeah, thank y'all. I just look at sometimes there's these cracks that open up, for lack of a better term, where God, universe, source, Jehovah, Christ, Spirit kind of says, okay, uh, here it is. Are you going to take it? Are you going to take advantage of it? So I don't know how this will play out, but I know this evening that I go with a clean heart and a pure mind and a spirit of the world is in great change right now. The world is in grave danger right now. um, we all have to be a voice in some kind of way to make the world a better place. I sound like I should be writing a song. Make the world a better place, like Michael Jackson. Uh, so it's going to be an interesting week. It's going to be an adventure, uh, and we'll just see how it plays out. I'm sure that I'm sure that this interview, at some point, we'll have access to it, and I'll post it online, and it will go fine. It's already a success before it's happened. I come from the old school. I done claim victory before we even get done with it. It's already a success. It's already good. It's already anointed. It's already meant to be, uh, and so I go with that intention, and so yeah. But anyhow, everybody, Eddie William Sellers just sitting out in his yard this evening. Got my flip flops on. Ain't no mosquitoes biting me. It's starting to get dark here, more so on my Facebook over here than on the TikTok. But sitting out here in East Point, Georgia, having me a Gatorade, uh, getting ready for the week ahead. Um, yeah, and out here where I sit, I can see all the movement of the skies up over me. Um, you can start to hear the cicadas or crickets or whatever get going. So anyway, y'all, hey, as it has, long time no see. I haven't, I was real involved with the Harris campaign. Some of you people know that, and I was a paid fellow for the Harris campaign, and as an older Southern white man that was out rounding up votes and going to Harris campaign headquarters around Atlanta and meeting people and trying to just be an encourager. And so, but I had a lot more to say then, and now I come on live and basically I'm just kind of just sporadically just kind of like, yeah, I'm sitting out here this evening. Uh, yeah, I think we thank you there, Rita. Uh, Thank you there, Tim C. Or is that Tim? Yeah, Tim C. Yeah, I think my involvement with the campaign and how that I had so many people coming by the shop that were coming from Macon and Athens and Hiwassee and Tennessee. Y'all, it was so sweet. I met so many people, and it let me understand the power of TikTok, the power of Instagram and Facebook and YouTube. I had a sweet lady and her husband that was in town for a concert that had came down from Tennessee, somewhere 50 miles outside of Nashville or something. And they came by to see me and meet me and take pictures and that kind of stuff with me. And because I had my little 15 minutes, so like people come by and want to take a picture or whatever or do a video. And she had two little kids, and they were like 10, 8 years old. And she said, "My kids have never met a Democrat before." Can you imagine that? Uh, she said, "We wouldn't dare." She said, her and her husband was going to vote for Harris. She said, we wouldn't dare risk putting a Harris campaign sign up around our neighborhood in our house somewhere. And that it was so weird. She said, "But our kids have never met a Democrat before." And she said, "We wanted them to meet a Democrat." And like shook my hand all like that as a Democrat. I just thought, well, small world, isn't it? So, but anyway, y'all, not to get off on the other part of that political stuff right now, the days will come and the hours will be upon us where we will have to gird up again and try to make a difference in the country. And what's going on now in the country is deeply disturbing, deeply sad. And, you know, I'm wondering now, because I've got a COVID vaccine every year since COVID killed millions of people. And I'm wondering now, am I going to be able to get my COVID vaccine? It's odd, isn't it? Just so odd that we're just living in dangerous times right now. So anyway, y'all, it's getting dark. I'm going to go back inside. I got some packing to do. Uh, I'll be I'll probably doing some lives from New York for the next few days. Um, Ava and I will get our morning walks out of the way, and I I love writing. Y'all, some of you people follow me know I write every morning, just two or three little paragraphs about something. But I love writing, and over the years, going back, 1994 was the first time I visited New York City. Went with my friend John. He had an architect friend of his that he had dated years before, and he was on Fire Island with his boyfriend, who was a Broadway play director, uh, choreography or something. They were spending a week at Fire Island. This was in February. In February, it was so cold. I thought New York City's got to be the coldest place on earth. But he had gave John and I permission to stay at his apartment in Chelsea. No cost. And that was my first visit in 1998 to New York City. And I've went back often. I go tomorrow, and then I go again next month for 5 days. I'm going back up there, and I fell in love with New York City. And uh, I remember I said I was going to get off, but on my first trip to New York City, the architect friend had come back to town and was there at his apartment with us the last couple of days before we flew back to Atlanta. And I smoked then, and he smoked. So on his building, he had a rooftop on his building where you go up and smoke. And so we went up there early one morning, had coffee, went up there and we smoked. And he was back. He was a real sweet man. And he told me his story. Everybody has a story. You have a story. I have a story. All of us. Yeah, all we can do is pray, Cindy. Uh, it's very troubling. We're we're living in very dangerous times that this country has never seen before. And I don't say that to spook people or blah blah blah, be all Debbie Down or nothing. We're living in very very serious, dangerous times. But anyhow, on that morning, this architect friend told me his story, and it was so touching. He was in hospice, and he had full blown AIDS, and he had lost his home. He'd lost everything. And then he was right on that cusp where they came out with the uh, drugs for AIDS, and they called it the Lazarus drug. And he recovered after being in hospice and giving up to die. He recovered, got better, and now that he almost died, he said, "I've always wanted to live in New York." Got a job with an architectural firm in New York City, had an apartment in Chelsea after being in hospice and almost dying. He said, Eddie, I find life the greatest gift we'll ever have. He loved life. So just hearing stories like that made me think, don't never count nobody out. Don't never count nobody out. So we fly up in the morning. I love y'all. Thank y'all for everything. Uh, I'm going to get out of here, go inside and get ready to do what I need to do. See y'all. Let me figure out how to get out of here.